Hey everyone, Rohan Dhawan here, founder of Ability, and yet again we have Vaishali with us, who's I think doing the interview with us for the second time, and we have to because she's progressing at such a fast speed, and the kind of results she's achieving at such a young age is phenomenal. So Vaishali, how are you doing, and how are you feeling since the last time we actually you did the interview with Pratham, right?
Yeah.
So how are you feeling since then? What's like changed and if you could just like talk a little bit about that.
Hi Rohan. First of all, I'm grateful that we are meeting after such a long time, and with I think the last time got connected about the same thing. It was just after maybe a month or two after I had joined Yogality, and at that time I was excited. Of course, even today I'm excited about it. But yeah, at that time I had a very new kind of feeling to the family of Ubility. Now it's been over a year, little over a year now,
When did you
and
join? Like when did you
I
join?
joined last year in May.
May. Okay. Yeah, been like almost over a year now.
Yeah, yeah. So almost over a year, a little over a year, and so I mean the difference I have now. Uh, bef- Compared to the last time we spoke is about a lot more about I'm well managed and organized than I was at time, and now I know how to keep things to my head and how to. So I personally feel that as an entrepreneur, it's not about your skills uh, as to how you deliver results to the clients and everything. It's about how beautifully you manage those clients and how beautifully you just conduct all those things that matters, and how you manage your time along with other things and everything that makes you what you become. So I think that's a major part of learning that I've had, especially with the ability community. Although I haven't been able to have been there on all the calls that have happened, but yeah, I've always been connected with the community in one way or the other. So which has really helped me achieve my results faster, and I'm happy to be a part of this community, like always. And this is just one group on Facebook that I really find very valuable because, of course, I mean, everyone every other day has got something or the other good to share, which every day when I look up and I see that okay, somebody has moved up one step, I'd like, I mean, this is great just to see that yes, this is just a part of my family which is trying hard, and then it even makes me get moved even on days when I might not be feeling very motivated or whatever. But then when I see that yes, someone else is doing it, I'm like, okay, let me just quickly get up and get on my toes and just work towards it and get better. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I keep noticing that you keep engaging with people. If somebody needs help, you keep like helping them. So it's phenomenal, I think, to have you part of the community as well. So Vishali, now I know that a lot of people who are watching this probably haven't seen your previous video. So let's talk a little bit about your background and start from scratch. Like, where you're from, what do you do, and how did you come across Ability?
So I came across Ubility last year. So basically, I started my freelancing journey 4 years ago. And when I started because I wanted some practical knowledge. I wanted to learn and actually, involve in the industry rather than just reading books and doing courses or whatever. My whole idea was to learn by actually doing it and delivering results at the same time. I started with coding. I started with developing things, and later on, I realized that it's not the development that people would be very uh, would be wanting as much. Of course development would be required, but how is it that is it's going to add value to them is by making sure that the developments that I'm doing is actually marketing oriented for them, in terms of websites and everything. So that is where I shifted my entire focus towards, and then I realized that I need to ensure that the website that I'm going to develop, it's not just a website, it's not just a template that is there on the web. It is something that actually adds value to the business owners, because I personally believe that no business runs on a product or a service. It has to be the value that we add. So
Right.
that was the idea I began with. And sooner or later, I realized that, I mean, something is not enough. It's not about the number of clients. It's not about, the amount of money you make. What matters the most, I feel, it's about the satisfaction you get out of your work. Because if you're doing something with a passion, and if you're not very happy about the output, when I say output, I mean the kind of clients I have, or the kind of delivery I am providing, or the kind of value that I'm adding, I wasn't very happy about it. I just knew something was missing, and there was a time I completely lost my hopes. I was like, no, I need somebody to just guide me to, just probably hold my fingers and tell me where to see, because I mean, I think I'm blessed to be in this particular generation, or in this particular era where we have everything accessible to us in terms of online courses and whatnot. But the thing is, I mean, it cannot take you anywhere if you are not at one particular step or one particular track, because every other video that you see, every other documentary that you watch, every other article that you read, there is something or the other that is published. Because, of course, there are multiple people who are successful, multiple people who are, just putting out their knowledge, their experience out there. But I mean, it's very difficult to understand which exactly is the path that you have to follow. And I was really, I was doing everything. I was just doing everything to understand what's the best that I need to do to deliver the best and everything. And then I just somehow came across Ability through some ads, and then I clicked on it. And I remember the time I got on call with Pratham, and I mean, where he spoke to me about the possibilities and everything to me. And I remember I literally just couldn't sleep that whole night. I was like, I have to enroll somehow, because I mean, if I'd be honest, I was most touched by the part how easy it was for me, for a person like me. I'm not a person who would be sold to very easily at all. But a person like me, I was like completely, something new has just happened, and I'm like, I just have to get it. And yeah, and I'm happy that I made that decision, and now I'm here, part of such a wonderful community. So yeah,
And making such wonderful progress as well. So yeah, congratulations.
thank you,
So
Rohan.
what I'm curious to know is like what happened on that call that you had with Pratham because of which you were unable to sleep. Like what about that call, or what did Pratham say exactly that made you want to say, wow, I want to actually join this?
So I mean, what exactly did he say? It's been a year or over, but
Yeah.
still, I still have a few flashbacks of that call. I remember my call was scheduled around 5:30 something, and I was like this. My phone was in my hands. I had a notebook and a paper and everything. I think since 4:40 or something like that, I'm gonna get a call. I'm gonna get a call. Yeah. And when I actually got the call, I was like, "Hi, I'm Pratham." I was like, "Yeah, I know." So that was my first reaction, and then later on, best part about that call was he was not talking about selling something to me whatsoever. He was completely talking about the problem that I was in. And so honestly, I didn't have such a problem per se. What I had uh, as the reason why I joined it is because I just didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know what to do, and how to just be on that journey. Because at an age where I'm 23 right now. I joined when I was 22. So at the age that I am right now, it's easy for people to just give up,
Hmm.
or it's like a make or break thing. What I feel. So I'm lucky to have a family to support me in every decision that I make and everything. But I just didn't know if I was on the right track, because I just didn't know as to, for example, if I'm selling certain way, I didn't know if that's the right way or not. If I'm uh, managing my entire venture a certain way, I wasn't sure if it was right way. I just didn't know if, as one person, I should be able to manage everything. There were multiple questions in my head. I knew I wasn't going to give up. I knew from the very beginning, the moment that I started, I knew I wasn't going to give up. But things were getting difficult. Just those questions in my head were not letting me do to my most potential. Pratham helped me understand my own self on that call as to why is it that I even wanted to get into this, and I mean, what is it that my own aspirations were, and what is it that I am doing less or I am doing more. So the best part about that call, it was named as a discovery call, but it was my own discovery for me more than anything else. So which is where I found out where I was missing and what it is that I was lacking. And I figured out that it's just the direction that I need. It's
Hmm.
just the right push that I need, and things will fall in place. And luckily, that's what happened. Um,
Amazing.
so yeah, that's what I really found. Because, and one more thing, right after that call, I mean, like I said, I couldn't sleep and whatever. It's not just that one night I couldn't sleep. I mean, it was. Um, other few days I did take some time to actually enroll, maybe a week or so, but that entire week I was like, I have to enroll. Day and night, that is what my entire head was at. And I don't know why, how, whatever, but everything Pratham and I spoke about that day on the call kept repeating on my head throughout that entire week. And I happened to maybe get a strategy call with one of my prospect during that 1 week itself, and I literally spoke everything to that particular person, that client of mine. Everything like Pratham spoke to me. I don't know what happened on that call, that I mean, I was completely, helpful. I was completely strategic for that particular client. I didn't even have one for once on my head that I'm going to sell something. I was just helping him understand his business. And I was asking him questions like Pratham asked me about my industry. So even that guy, he literally mentioned this to me, that I've spoken with people with 20 years of experience in this field and everything, but none of them actually were interested in my product or business the way you were. And you actually tried to understand my problem and then offered a solution rather than just trying to sell. So I think that is by far the best compliment I could ever get, because I think that was the most satisfactory strategy call, because that was the first time I called it a strategy call. Before that, it was always a sales call.
Yeah.
So, I mean, till date, I mean, no matter how many projects I might have worked on, no matter how many good, bad testimonials I might have gotten, but that particular, I think, was the best thing that I could have gotten. And that was the point I knew that, I mean, this is exactly what I'm working for. This is what I want to hear from my clients.
Right.
So, I mean, that was the point, and rest is the history.
Absolutely. I think so. The biggest shift that happened was you went from selling like the traditional way, like how most people sell, just like trying to pitch, 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 to much more of a consultative based sales model where you were able to ask questions to people, really understand their business, and then, go about, telling what's best for them. So I
Yeah.
think that's like really awesome. But Vishali, one more thing that I remember, Pratham specifically telling me, that at that time, when you were trying to join this program, you didn't have like those immediate funds available.
Not at all.
Because
Not at
so,
all.
but you still managed to somehow do it. Like, can you talk a little bit about that and how
Yeah,
did
I
you do it?
mean, it was like I said, the reason for the entire week I was all puzzled and everything is because I just didn't have immediate funds to enroll for the program. And I mean, it was a very tough situation for me. I had to literally loan from friends and everything to put it together. And then I finally got a Pratham. Actually, I was getting Pratham's message. Are you enrolling? What's the plan and everything? I was like, give me some time. I was like, oh no, I was feeling very bad that I am not being able to. I just didn't want to miss this opportunity. And somehow it was very difficult, to be very honest, how I managed it and everything. But I knew I was going to get do it, because this meant, I mean, with that one call, I just knew something is missing, and I know what's missing, and now I need to work on it.
Right.
So, I mean, then I called up Pratham, now I can enroll. And he was like, okay, great. And the same day I got my onboarding with you and everything. I mean, I remember that day very well, and everything. So it's just, I mean, uh, what I feel is that every day it happens. It just so happens that you want to maybe go out and eat pizza where you might end up spending $500. You might not think that much, and of course, at times you do get kind of a that kind of feeling that I should not be spending this much, or then you also rationalize yourself that it's okay to do it once in a while. I mean, you have to have a life. And then I imagine that when it comes to investing in ourselves, I mean, why is it so that even $100 uh, causes so much of pain? So that's one thing. Another thing I realized at that point in time, that if there is something that's so significant, so important to you, as close as achieving your dreams, or just making everything happen the way you want it to, you're just one step away. No matter how difficult can it get, you if you understand that it's important, no matter how, but you know that you can just achieve it. So that day onwards, I forgot the concept of not being able to afford anything, because I knew that if I want something badly, and I am going to get it, no matter how many hardships I have to go through to just get there. So I think that was one additional benefit I got out there, because then that day onwards, I never believed people saying that I'm not going to buy this one thing or whatever it may be, just because I can't afford it. Because that day I understood that there's a sense of urgency that needs to get you on your toes and get things happen. Because it wasn't, as a layman, it wasn't possible for me to be able to put together the money to enroll in the program within a week. I mean,
Right.
not at all possible, but somehow I did it. And I would not say it was easy. Of course, it was difficult. It was a lot of thinking, a lot of pressurizing myself as to what, how, and everything. And did it somehow, and happy that I did it. I didn't miss out on the opportunity. Otherwise, I would still be there and thinking, what would I be doing? Maybe I should have taken it and all that. So yeah.
That's so good. I mean, the fact that like really surprises, or actually the thing that I'm really proud of that you have, is that at 22, that's when you joined, you had this mindset that what I'm about to do, this is not an expense. I'm not about to
Yeah.
buy like fancy shoes or a car or whatever. I'm about to actually invest in myself and my growth, which will pay off. So I mean, the fact that you had that kind of mentality and mindset beforehand, pretty much says that you were 70% already there. You just needed that 30% extra push, right? So that's so good. But Vishali, at that point of time, you were doing web development projects, application. Like, what all were you doing then?
So I was literally doing everything. I mean, I was doing websites, I was doing apps, I was doing social media and everything. But now that I have understood things more, better, I now understand that now I'm completely focusing on fashion designers for websites. That's my niche right now. And I mean, I'm happy that I chose this, because earlier there was just everything, and now I am a specialist person for fashion designers. I know exactly what they need on their website. I know their size chart has to be so specific, because I mean, once you are in one particular niche, I think that's where you truly have that deep dive into that particular area, and you understand that you are the absolute person for anything and everything that they would need, which other developers might not be able to, not because they're not well enough, just because they don't have that kind of experience with fashion designers like I would. So
Right.
that gives me upper hand in that particular niche, which earlier I was missing. So earlier I just wanted to do fashion designers because of course that's fancy to see and everything. But now I want to do it because that's something I really know. I mean, when, where, how, what exactly. So all those things. So that, I think that's been a really remarkable thing for me, that I could actually just focus on one thing.
Right.
And it's not like I'm, so most of people would think that, are you just maybe declining all other offers or whatever. I'm not declining. I have team or people I know, I have closely worked with in the past. So I refer either I refer those projects to them, or I just supervise those projects and let them do it so that it doesn't take
Right.
up my bandwidth. But I still supervise those because I don't want my clients to feel that it's just a website.
Right.
None of my client, because so even today it's not like I don't take small projects. I do take small projects, but even with the small projects I take, I ensure that those clients also feel it's not just some small project. They feel the value that I add in there. Even if it's just a 10,000 rupees project, I ensure that from the very beginning I ask them questions like they feel that yes, that this is someone who knows what they're doing. And
Right.
you know, on the very first call I feel that particular difference in the clients that I have now than what I had earlier. I ask them as to what their business is, how big or small it is, how much they are doing, whatever. So just to understand their client base and to understand the kind of colors I should be putting, the fonts I should be putting on the website, or the way the entire copy, the wireframe of the website should be, rather than just asking them what colors or websites do they like, if they have the copy or not, or if they want me to design just those technical questions. It's not like that anymore. So I have to do a full detailed call with them, even if it's a small project, and I have to ensure that even if they are spending just 10,000, they should get a value 10x to that at least, if not
Exactly.
more. So, I mean, that shift of mindset is, I believe, by far the best thing I have been gifted with. Because I think, like I said, product or service doesn't count. It's the value that you add that counts.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, that's
Exactly. And that's why we are conducting this interview.
of
So,
course.
yeah, totally understand that. So, Vishali, at that point of time, do you remember how much were you charging for projects, or how much were you earning before working with Uability?
So, at that time, I remember my first project was 4,000 rupees.
Really?
And it was literally, I mean, if we talk about general web design marketing industry and everything, that project alone would have, I should have charged them around easily 30-35,000, because it was a full-fledged e-commerce, that too static, because which meant I had to do everything literally manually,
Exactly.
because it was so customized and everything. So I mean, 35,000 was literally nothing even for a beginner. But at that time I didn't know, and at that time I didn't have a folio to showcase or anything whatsoever, and I didn't have the proper I just had to start, and that's how I started. So 4,000. And I was, I mean, it was very inconsistent for me back then. There were months I was doing maybe one project. Of course, with e-commerce, it does take some time, maybe a month or more. So if there's one project, maybe 2 months and 35,000, that's at max. And at some months, for example, if I was getting maybe one or two projects, it was 10, 15,000, 20,000 at max. But right from I mean, from me joining Uability, I literally shifted everything. And it made me reach my goal at 1.5 lakh within that year. To, I mean, which is something. But yes, like I said, money, I mean, more than money, what mattered was the fact that I was actually living my passion to its core. I
Mhm.
made what I targeted. And I'm happy that I was actually able to be financially independent. The next time I had to go out for pizza, I didn't have to think whether should I be doing it or not, because I knew that pizza now I can afford. So just because I could actually invest in myself at the right time, now that I can afford pizza without having to think twice. So
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not the pizza, but what I mean is the fact that
The
I should be
independence and
thinking,
the
yeah, yeah,
feeling that you have.
yeah.
I get it. So just to confirm, like, back then I would say you were earning around 10 to 30,000 a month, right?
30 was like, I mean, 30 was not even
Not
there.
the case.
20,
Okay.
20, 20, 25 was at max at that time.
Okay. Got it. And then you joined your ability, and I remember in 2020 your income was 1.5 lakhs a month,
Yeah,
right?
in initial few months itself, I was able to reach it. with
Amazing.
constant guidance of Pratham and yourself. I mean, every time I used to do a very little thing, get on a call with a client, I used to text Pratham, this is what is happening. He used to always push me, okay, go it. And now you do this and that. For every small thing I remember, I mean, I think that is just having that feeling of people being there to look around for you if you fall, and you know uh, with very small things, as small as just getting first call booked for yourself. I
Right.
mean, something so small yet something so big,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that there are people watching over you with the smallest of steps that you take. I think that is the best feeling one could have, especially in such hard times. When I say hard times, I mean starting something of your own in whatever age, of course. I mean, it's not just about at this age, but any age when you start something, it is full of fears, it is full of um, insecurities, and everything. What is it that others are going to say, whether I'm going to make it or not,
Mm-hmm.
not having enough experience, this and that. I mean, there are thousands of questions to just put you down, and
Right.
one or two people, and then an entire community uh, looking at you as to what is it the next step that you're going to take. I remember when I joined Ubility, I was 251st member, and now I'm happy that it's a uh, I think 700 plus that we have in Elite 2.0. So I mean, I'm happy that I have seen it grow, and I know that the reason why it has grown is because it has added so much of value to the lives of so many people, and not just us, 700 people, but if all 700 of us have just done even one single project, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a value added to 1400 people, and it's just multiplying itself because we all, as a part of Ubility, have been so much inclined to just add value to other businesses rather than just selling. So I think it's not just good to us 700, but to all our clients as well, who we have had the opportunity or fortune to help and serve them in a way that we actually had a dream of. So I think that's by far the best thing that I could get after mobility. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, that's very wonderfully put. And in fact, I remember that when you like joined, and I think the first month, I was just like scrolling past through the Facebook group, and I remember like, if you see one win, you got on an interview with a person from Hong Kong, and then suddenly like, one win, second win, third win, and then you post that, oh, you've achieved 1 lakh already. So that was huge.
Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that you made like progress such fast has been like really amazing. And last year you were around 1 to 1.5, Vishali, but like I also remember seeing one of your latest posts that you have also crossed 2 lakhs now.
Yeah.
So like, what's the situation now? Like, how much are you doing now per month?
So around 2 lakhs, I can easily go. I mean, now that you just shown me on all those posts, I remember. I remember just. I mean, it's so good to be a part of a community like that. And yeah, now I'm doing around two, and I'm doing two, but it's like I'm doing two because I don't have interns with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's all just me. It's at times I get my brother to involve in it and help me with a few things, but I still feel that my bandwidth is somehow blocked because of
Right.
course that's my capacity right now to be able to take up those projects. But soon enough, I'm planning to expand,
Mm-hmm.
maybe get more people to do things which are more tedious and more, so that my entire focus could be about supervising them to just strategize those websites rather than doing everything myself, just
Right.
to delegate some things to others. So that's what I am up to, uh, and I'm planning to expand maybe in the coming month or two.
Right.
So I mean, that's where I am right now. Yeah.
Awesome. And just to confirm, Vishali, I hope this is like, you're not spending on ads. This is
Not
all
at
like
all. It's
pure
all of
profit,
it. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Amazing. So like, because I just wanted to clarify that, because a lot of people post like big revenue
Not
numbers
at
and
all.
then
Not at all.
exactly, they're like most of it going in ad spend.
Not
So
at all. So I'm completely working from home. I'm completely doing everything organically. All my posts, all the calls that I've been getting, it's all organic. At times I feel like doing it on LinkedIn, I do it there. I At times I put it on Facebook groups, whatever. And I'm blessed to have gotten good response from people in terms of they get I mean they get what I'm trying to convey on my messages. It's not at all about, do you want a website, do you want this is the offer. I Not at all like that. It's all about, are you facing this particular problem? Is it something that you want to talk to people about? Is it something you need help with? So things like those, I mean, completely shifting the focus of the other person who's reading those, I think that has helped. And most importantly, the strategies that I've learned from Ubility, that has helped me put out my message in the most clearest form, so that the people who are actually reading it are actually able to relate to it, to be able to just click on it and make
right.
a decision basis that. So talking about spending anything, I'm literally just spending on the themes I buy for my clients, or the subscriptions, just those things that I have. Nothing like, managing the business per se. I do not really have too much of operational cost or so. I am completely operating from home. I take help from my brother, so that's also costless. Although he takes money, I mean, he's like, okay, I'll take this much, and that's absolutely fine because,
You
of
should be
course,
buying him pizza every week.
I don't do it because he's on diet.
Okay.
So in fact, he doesn't let me eat pizza at times. So yeah, I mean that's about pizza. But yeah, I mean, regarding operating costs, there's literally bare minimum. I mean, just paying for Google, what, workspace and Zoom or whatever, but nothing per se. I just have few basic softwares to work with, and basic subscriptions like maybe Invato or
Right.
these imaging softwares and everything, just to be able to deliver what my clients are asking for, but nothing per se as per operational. So it's
Right.
all, yeah.
Got it. And according to you, like, a lot of people ask me this, like, Rohan, what is the best organic platform out there? So, Vishali, according to you, which one has worked the best for you if when it
I would
comes to
say
ads?
I would say it's not about the best platform as per my experience. It's about how well you analyze your audience. I
Okay.
mean, if you're a fashion designer, of course you'll not be putting your ad on LinkedIn, because you just
Right.
have to understand where your specific audience is and what is it that they're expecting to see. if you
Exactly.
if you put You just have to analyze your niche so well and good, that you should know that if I were in their situation, where would I be hanging out at? Should I be on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever it is? So you just
Mhm.
have to really understand that very well, and basis that only you have to formulate your entire marketing strategy as to what are your verbiage is going to be like. Is it going to be an Instagram reel, or is it going to be a LinkedIn post, whatever it is? So it all completely depends on how well you understand your own market. I mean,
Mhm.
there are people who are expert in LinkedIn advertising. There are people expert in Facebook advertising, and whatnot. There are so many platforms out there. We have Instagram, we have Snapchat. These days, there's this Clubhouse thing
Mhm.
trending. So I mean, platforms are going to be there. Platforms are going to come and go. The best that you can achieve, the best that you can attain for yourself is just a skill to be able to be at the right place with the right message, with the right value, to the right people. That matters the most. It's not about what platform that you're at. It's not about what hashtags that you use. I mean, of course hashtags matter, but I mean, it's not about you being, um skilled best at Instagram or whatever. It's you have to be skilled at being able to convert those people. If you just write a mere line, we want a website at LinkedIn, it is not going to get you that much of revenue. But if you are going to just write the same I mean, a better message. Like, are you facing any challenge with, marketing your website or marketing your business online?
Right.
Or are you facing any challenge being able to convert your clients? And that, if you even put on Facebook, that is going to help you. So it's
Right.
about the right message and right verbiage that you use for your specific audience and your specific business that
Right.
matters, I think.
That's wonderful. I mean, spot on. So basically, to summarize this, it's not the platform only, it's your messaging and the things that you're putting out there which matters, and the people will follow. Because
Yeah,
I personally believe that, platform in today's time shouldn't be a problem for people.
not at
As
all.
you mentioned, there are billions of people on these apps, right? So finding them isn't the challenge. It's getting them to do what you want is the challenge, as you mentioned, the conversion part.
Yeah.
So, Vishali, you also mentioned that you share a lot of value with people. So, according to you, before you conduct the strategy session with somebody, what kind of value do you share with them, and how do you make sure that your, chances of closing them is high?
So, what I do every month, I have this binary talks. This is the series that I have. So, there are a group of people that I connect with every now and then, and we just talk about a lot of value. I give them tips. I give them
About
I share
website
my
development?
experience. Not just website development. The fact that how your website should actually be, what are the factors that you should be considering when building your own website, as to what should be the key points that you should be careful about, or what are the strategies for the right kind of copy that should go on your website. Millions of things like these, just the knowledge, pure knowledge, nothing else, nothing about selling anything. So I just get them to just look at my website, look at a few of the works that I've done, just to make them understand that there's a difference, difference in just websites, and difference between those websites and mine.
Right.
Not in terms of whether they are good looking or what, it's just the way they convert. It's just the way they make you feel when you look at the product, because I
Right.
think that ultimately that's what that matters. Because if looking at a website I don't feel like buying anything, it's of no value to the other person.
Absolutely.
So that is what I try to cultivate from my messages and from those meets that I have. So
Where do
I
you
have got.
meet? Like, you have a Facebook group, or do you like meet physically? What do you do?
So before lockdown, we used to have physical meetings and maybe
Right.
these co-working spaces and everything. But now everything, since Zoom is our new home, so Zoom is where we connect. And regarding the groups, we have groups on WhatsApp and Facebook as well, in the name Founders Anonymous.
Right.
So every now and then we have got two series that is ongoing. One is Binary Talks, which is completely about, you can call it webinar, you can call it a brainstorming session or anything, because we just completely focus on sharing value. So times we try conducting a webinar, at times we conduct a workshop, practical things and everything. And then there's this another series which is Founders Anonymous.
Hmm.
Founders Meet, I call it. So Founders Anonymous is the group and Founders Meet is the series. So
Hmm.
there we just have, you know we just connect, and we just speak about and talk to others, just connect and network. So
Hmm.
that particular series we take once in 2 months, and just to be able to connect and network with other people, so that the clients that I have also get an opportunity to be able to network with other people, maybe in same
Right.
industry or in the others. So to share values and just share their experiences and everything. So that's what.
Got it. That's pretty smart, actually. So, what you do is, if I had to summarize this, you have this series going on, and you have this network of people, and you have them on WhatsApp, Facebook, and different kind of platforms. And then you post value to them, and you often do webinars and
Yeah.
different kind of brainstorming sessions. And then the person who thinks that they find you valuable enough, they contact you, and they can actually inquire about your services and everything. Is
Yeah.
that how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Awesome.
most of the times they contact me. I mean, not to maybe get a website or whatever, or this for the services. They contact me. They ask me for suggestions on advice on things that they are up to. and I happily, spend time with them and, understand their problem and everything. And at times even I am not aware that it's a sales call or it's going to turn out that way. So it has literally happened with me multiple times, that most of the times even I am not aware that this person is actually going to ask me
Right.
for the pricing or whatever. I just help them in whatever way I guide them, and just tell them what is it that they are lacking, what is it that they can do better, and which is something that has helped me, and which is something even I don't feel like selling anymore. It just so happens that I feel like talking to people, understanding their problem and solving them. That's the in three steps. That's what I do. And
Right.
uh, so I remember the first time I did an internship, I was asked this question, what my goals are, and
Mhm.
I bluntly mentioned I want to make so and so amount every month. And soon enough, I realized that shouldn't be the goal. The goal should be to generate a certain amount of business for my client, and rest is going to fall in place on its own.
Automatically.
Yeah. If you are doing the right thing, everything else is going to just happen on its own. Like a student, if you focus on getting good marks, it's never going to happen. If you focus on understanding the concepts and learning what you've understood, and just really understanding what you've learned, I think that's what ultimately helps you get good marks in exams, not the other way around. Because if you focus on getting to that target, that's not going to help. If you focus on delivering those targets to your clients or the people who are actually getting value for that, is I think what matters most, more than just doing anything randomly. So
That's
yeah.
so good. I think like this is the best lesson of this session that we had today is provide value and sales will automatically follow,
Yeah.
right? So really good job, Vaishali. And one last thing I want to quickly cover before I forget. I remember you telling me earlier that you charged 4,000 rupees for your such a big project before. How much well, obviously the project it varies, but how much do you charge minimum now if we had to do a
So
comparison?
minimum now is I don't I mean minimum now is 30-35,
Right.
because now there's a lot more that I have to put in for any given project. Maybe now it's not like I have to just make some website. It's all about I have to generate business for this person.
Right.
So there's a huge shift. So now those 4,000 have converted to 35,000 or
Right.
so. So yeah.
Amazing, Vaishali. So, Vaishali, that brings me to my last two questions. What I want to know is, Vaishali, if you could go back in time, right? And let's say you had to give advice to a younger version of Vaishali who's starting out in the IT field, in the web development field or app development field. What kind of advice would you give to that, Vaishali?
Find your ability earlier, maybe.
Okay, that's obviously there. But anything else you would like to say, like any concrete advice or anything you've learned throughout this whole process?
One thing that I would say is, no matter how good or bad you are in what you're doing, of course, there's a better version of you waiting for you at the end of the journey. But always remember that you are good enough. I mean, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be sleepless nights, times you would be just crying your heart out as to, I'm not able to do it. But don't ever give up, don't ever feel any less for yourself. Just know that you have got enough potential in you to be able to crack anything that you want in life.
Right,
And most importantly, follow the right advice at the right time. That's very important, rather than just falling prey to marketing hustles. Just actually focus and understand what works for you most.
right,
And one person in this entire world, there's a reason why there are millions of people living in this world. And the reason I understand is because it's a society to help each other grow. So take help. Do not hesitate to take help from others. Take help. Do not feel that they're going to judge you. So what, they judge you? I mean, let them. It's fine.
Hmm.
Ultimately, you are going to get what you want. Let
Right.
them judge you and ask for help as and when you need it. And ask for guidance as much as you can, as much as you want. Don't, just think that I'll do it on my own. It's good to do things on your own. It's absolutely, I mean, proud moment for you to do anything of your own. But at the same time, we have to understand that there's certain time frame that we have, and that if someone is experienced, don't just go by words, but of course take guidance and then decide for yourself whether that's the right guidance for you or not.
Right.
But do not hesitate to ask for help and ask for other people's opinion and their help, their guidance, their advice. So I think that's what, because when I remember when I started with this entire program, I was like, the one thing that I was struggling with is the right guidance, the right
Hmm.
portion, the right direction. I was everywhere. I was doing everything else. I was watching YouTube motivational videos. I was watching, I don't know what all, manifestations. Of course, manifestations do help. But yeah, I mean, I was doing everything. I was watching motivational videos. I was watching uh, millionaires interviews and whatnot. Everything. I mean, everyone had different opinions to share, of course, basis on their experience. But I just, what I needed the most was one right step, one right direction to follow, which I found later on, and happy enough that on right time I found it, and that has really helped me. So just focus on one thing and make it your everything, rather than doing everything and going to everyone and everything. Just maybe take time to understand who you want to follow. But once you know that, you just follow that one particular channel and not like 100 different paths. So that really clarifies you a lot of things, and makes it easier for you to achieve what you want to.
Right. That's great piece of advice. So, Vaishali, firstly, thank you so much for doing this. And in case anybody who's watching this video wants, help with their website or their ID requirements, how can they get in touch with you, or what's the best way to do so?
So they can check out my website, which is binaryquotes.in. So it's BINARYQUOTES.in. And there we have a form to schedule session with them. So they can always book a call with me, or reach out on WhatsApp on those numbers that are listed. So one of my team, or probably my brothers, the people who are watching it would know that it's my brother.
Yeah.
So he's going to schedule maybe a call with me or something, and then from that point I'll take over and will be happy to help them in anything that they need help with on their website or anything.
That's fantastic. So what I'll do is I'll ask for these links from Vishali, and then I'll just put them in the description below. And by all means, feel free to check it out because she's really good at what she does, and you can clearly see the results. They speak for themselves. So Vishali, thanks a ton again for doing this for the second time. As always, really appreciate it. And please don't mind if after 1, 2 years we'll be requesting a third, fourth one where you'll be even achieving a lot better results than you did last time and this time, right? So thanks a lot and wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much, Rohan. Thank you for taking our time.